This one is a more Bruce Wayne story, and it takes place right after the last story, so yeah.
Aftermath, written as a continuous story in prose format. The room was shadowed, modern, cold in design, but simmering with hidden power. Floor-to-ceiling glass revealed Gotham's jagged skyline, a city both beautiful and broken. Bruce Wayne stood with his back to it, hands folded behind him. His tailored suit was flawless, his gaze unwavering. Across from him, Amanda Waller sat with her fingers laced together. Her expression was unreadable. Her words were not. "You already asked that freak in Metropolis to join your little club," she said. "So now you come to me." Bruce didn't blink. "You're not exactly easy to work with." "And yet you came," Waller replied smoothly. "We both know what's coming. We both know this planet isn't ready." Bruce stepped forward slightly. "You've got something to offer?" Amanda reached into a folder and slid it across the sleek black table. Hector Hammond, currently rotting in a neural coma inside Stryker's Island. But his mind, what's left of it, might still be useful. Weaponizable, if we're being honest. Bruce's jaw tightened as he looked at the image. Hammond's disfigured head lay still on a hospital bed, eyes rolled back, connected to tubes and restraints. "You want me to break out a psychic time bomb," Bruce said dryly. "I want results," Amanda said. "You want a team? You'll need an edge. And don't pretend like you haven't played dirtier than this." He handed the folder back. "Fine, I'll do it," Amanda smirked. "I thought so." But when night fell over Stryker's Island, it wasn't Hector Hammond who stepped out of the shadows with Bruce Wayne. It was Hal Jordan. Green Lantern, clad in black Owen fatigues, stepped into the moonlight with an unshaven grin. "So what's this I'm hearing about an alien trident stuck in the dirt?" Bruce narrowed his eyes. "I need your help." Hal laughed. "You broke me out to ask for a favor? You're not half as charming as you think, Wayne." Bruce didn't flinch. "I know you've been lying low since the clone attack, but something worse is coming. I can feel it." Hal's expression darkened, and he gave a slow nod. "Yeah, I know." The next morning, at the same penthouse where Bruce and Amanda first met, Amanda stood by the window, sipping black coffee. "You didn't bring Hammond," she said flatly. Bruce walked past her without a word, picking up his jacket. "That was the best I could do." "You lied to me," she said. "I made a tactical decision," Bruce replied. "You do it every day." Waller smiled faintly. "You're playing with fire, Bruce. We both are." He stopped at the door. "I'm starting to think I don't want you in my company anymore." Amanda tilted her head. "Then do something about it." Bruce said nothing as he left. But his mind was already spinning. He didn't trust Waller. He never had. But they both knew they were standing on a powder keg. The team he was forming needed to be more than weapons. It needed heart, control, conscience. She would never understand that. Deep within a secured hangar under Wayne Enterprises, scientists gathered around two sites of great mystery. One, an ancient trident, humming with dormant energy buried deep in bedrock. They had tried everything to pull it free, but it remained unmoving. The other, an equally ancient sword, worn and jagged, glowing faintly under certain spectrums of light. No machine could lift it. No calculation could explain it. The scientists didn't know what they were holding. Bruce Wayne did, and now, so did Hal Jordan. Credits: Bruce Wayne Batman, Christian Bale; Amanda Waller, Viola Davis; Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds; Hector Hammond, Peter Sarsgaard. Aftermath. End. Aquaman, King of Atlantis, written as a continuous long-form story in prose format. The wind howled across the rocky coastline of Amnesty Bay, lashing waves against the lighthouse like nature's war cry. Inside, young Arthur Curry sat beside his father, Thomas Curry, staring out at the storm. His small fingers wrapped around a steaming mug of cocoa, his eyes filled with questions. "You ever see something down there, Dad?" he asked. Thomas, still dressed in his Wayne Enterprises jumpsuit with the Coast City branch emblem on the sleeve, smiled faintly. "More than I can count, son. But your mother, she came from the deepest part of it." That was the beginning of Arthur's story. A child born of two worlds, Thomas Curry of the surface and Queen Atlanta of Atlantis. Hidden away to protect him, Arthur grew strong, braver than most, but adrift between identities. Atlanta had returned to her duties beneath the sea, leaving Arthur to grow up with tales of a kingdom he had never seen. Years passed. When word came that Atlantis was in turmoil, Arthur was already a grown man, muscular, sharp-witted, and wary of the underwater legacy that awaited him. Mera arrived first. Graceful, powerful, commanding, she told him of Atlantis' unrest, of his half-brother Orm, known to the people as Ocean Master, who now sat on the throne and sought to marry Mera as a show of power and unity. But Mera resisted. "Your mother wanted me to marry you," she said plainly. "Not him," Arthur scoffed. "Guess I wasn't invited to the wedding." Still, Mera convinced him to come with her. "Atlantis needs a true king, not a tyrant," she said, so he dove. Atlantis glowed like a lost dream beneath the waves, filled with majestic towers and coral spires, populated by warriors riding sea beasts and crowds whispering of the surface-born prince. Arthur, hesitant at first, agreed to train, learning the customs, the politics, and the ancient responsibilities of a king. Under the guidance of Queen Atlanta and trusted elders, he learned to control the trident of Neptune. He sparred with elite guards, read Atlantean law, and studied the history of his people. But the more he read, the darker things became. In a hidden chamber, Arthur uncovered a record of atrocities committed under Orm's rule, including the murder of a human child during a cleansing operation near the surface. Orm had called it strategic containment. But to Arthur, it was murder, cold and calculated. And someone else knew. Black Manta struck without warning, attacking Arthur during a diplomatic swim to one of the Atlantean outposts. His armor was sleek, otherworldly, powered by Atlantean tech and vengeance. Arthur fought hard beneath the waves, forcing the duel to the surface where it raged across the coastlines and even through fishing boats. The warrior's helmet glowed red, and his movements were fueled by fury. Eventually, Arthur shattered the helmet with a powerful strike, revealing the scarred, furious face beneath. Black Manta didn't scream or rage. He simply said, "He killed my boy, and you wear the same blood." Arthur's breath caught. Orm. Before he could say more, Manta reattached his cracked helmet and with a swift movement, stabbed Arthur in the side with a reinforced blade. Blood mixed with seawater as the assassin vanished into the mist. Arthur survived. He returned to Atlantis with the wound stitched and a scar etched deeper in his soul. He defeated Orm in ceremonial combat, stripping the Ocean Master of his title and earning the respect of both surface and sea. But victory did not feel whole. He married Mera in a private ceremony beside the hidden Fountain of Tides. Atlanta and Thomas reunited, awkwardly at first, but lovingly, rekindling something long dormant. The lighthouse welcomed her return, this time as both queen and mother. And Arthur? He stood before the Council of Atlantis and made a declaration that no king had ever made. "I am not just your king. I am your bridge. Atlantis will no longer hide. The surface must see us, and we must see them." He revealed Atlantis to the world. But in quiet moments, far from the crown and politics, Arthur stared toward the waves haunted by Black Manta's words. Mera once asked him, "Do you regret it, exposing Atlantis?" He looked at her, then at the horizon. "I don't regret showing them the truth," he said, "but I regret what's coming." Because Arthur knew. Black Manta would return. Credits: Aquaman, Arthur Curry, Alan Richson. Mera, Elena Satine. Queen Atlanta of Atlantis, Nicole Kidman, Thomas Curry, Tamura Morrison, King Orvax. Marius of Atlantis, Anthony Hopkins, Ocean Master Orm, Patrick Wilson, Black Manta, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Aquaman, King of Atlantis, and...
Anyways, this takes place a little bit before Aftermath, but after Superman 2. The next one, though, takes place way before anything else in Earth 1 of this universe. Since I made multiple DC universes, since none of them felt right, so I just kept on rebooting them until I think I just made the perfect one, but that won't come until way later on.
Wonder Woman, written in cinematic story form, with a continuous narrative and dialogue, concluding with cast credits. This takes place long before other events in the DC universe. There was a time before the world knew heroes, a time when the gods still whispered over oceans and the earth trembled beneath ancient wars. From the island of Themyscira, hidden from the eyes of man, came a miracle forged from divinity and love. Queen Hippolyta, ruler of the Amazons, knelt beside the edge of the sacred clay fields beneath the moonlight. Her heart ached with longing, not for war, not for power, but for a child. She molded a figure from the blessed clay, shaped in the image of strength, grace, and hope. She whispered to the stars, "Let her be more than a daughter. Let her be a protector." Thunder rumbled, the sky opened, and from the heavens descended Zeus, father of gods, cloaked in storm and flame. He saw the child of clay and gave her a spark of his own life. "She shall have my strength," Zeus rumbled, his voice echoing like thunder across the island. "And the heart of truth." The clay cracked. The girl opened her eyes. She was named Diana. As she grew, Diana trained under the finest warriors of Themyscira. Her skill with the sword and lasso were unmatched, but she remained full of compassion and curiosity. She longed to know the world beyond the shimmering barrier that protected their island. One day, the sky was torn apart by a fiery streak, a plane spiraling toward the ocean. Diana dove into the waves and pulled the pilot to shore. He coughed up seawater and looked at her like he had seen a goddess. "I'm Steve Trevor," he managed. The Amazons held him in suspicion, but Diana was fascinated. Through him, she learned of the world's wars, its suffering, its injustice. Against Hippolyta's wishes, Diana took her armor, lasso, and sword and crossed into man's world. The battlefield was chaos. Bullets sang and men screamed, but Wonder Woman walked through it like a storm in slow motion. Her shield shattered machine gun fire. Her lasso coiled around hearts and pulled out truths. Steve fought beside her, loyal and amazed. They uncovered a plot led by Dr. Poison, a cruel chemist with a cracked porcelain mask and a heart full of venom. Her gas turned men into monsters, mindless and unstoppable. "We have to stop her," Steve pleaded. Together, they stormed her compound. Diana deflected mortar fire with her bracelets and brought down the lab. Steve and his squad disabled the rest. But it wasn't over. Separated from her allies during the retreat, Diana became lost in the South American jungle. There, among the ruins of an old temple, she encountered something new, wild, fast, and feral. Cheetah. Clad in jaguar skins and marked with claw-like scars, the woman moved like a beast. Their battle was fierce, speed versus strength, instinct versus discipline. Diana was nearly overtaken by the strange warrior's animalistic ferocity. Cheetah hissed, "The gods abandoned us, but I made them mine." She vanished into the jungle as suddenly as she had come, leaving Diana bloodied and shaken. Diana returned to Themyscira, stepping through the portal she once defied. Her people welcomed her, most of them. Hippolyta stood waiting at the gates. "You disobeyed the law," her mother said. "You exposed yourself to a world that corrupts everything it touches." "They needed help," Diana replied, "and now they know you exist." The queen looked away, weary. "You are forbidden from returning to man's world." Diana bowed her head. "Then I will stay, for now." Present day, a Wayne Tech lab in Coast City. A pair of scientists in black gloves lay out items on a secure table. A trident, encrusted with oceanic residue. A sword, glowing faintly under the LED lights. "We found them in the trench wreckage," one says. The same energy signature as the object from Metropolis. The other looks at a photo, old, black and white. A woman in armor, shield raised, lasso glowing. Wonder Woman. Credits: Wonder Woman Diana, Adrienne Palicki. Queen Hippolyta, Connie Nielsen. Zeus, Ron Perlman, Steve Trevor, Chris Pine. Dr. Poison, Elena Anaya. Cheetah, Jennifer Aniston Wonder Woman. Future stories in this DC universe will follow the narrative style of the first Superman story.
Anyways, I know that Bruce Wayne tries his best not to prove to people that he's Batman, so I was going to do a story to where Bruce wanted a team of heroes, so like Superman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and if anyone asked him why Batman joined the team, he was going to say that Superman had Batman join the team. Because who honestly would say no to the Man of Steel? But yeah. Anyways, the next one takes place a little bit after Aftermath.
Funny thing happens on the way to Aquaman's trident and Wonder Woman's sword. Bruce Wayne pulls up in his sleek black car outside a tiny, slightly rundown convenience store. He steps out, adjusting his tie, clearly on a mission, but decides to grab a quick snack and maybe some coffee first. Inside, the small store smells like old pizza and canned beans. Behind the counter stands a tired-looking cashier, Adam Sandler, scrolling on his phone. Bruce grabs a soda and some snacks, then heads to the counter. Suddenly, the bell above the door jingles wildly. In bursts a wild-eyed man, waving a plastic toy gun with exaggerated motions. "Alrighty then," the man shouts, strutting around like it's a scene from a slapstick comedy. It's Jim Carrey, looking like he just got lost on his way to a movie set. "I'm robbing this joint. Everybody freeze. Give me the cash or I'll..." He trails off, unsure what to threaten with next. The cashier, Adam Sandler, looks up lazily and says, "Buddy, you're robbing a place that has like $50 and maybe some expired Twinkies. You sure about this?" Jim Carrey's character waves the toy gun dramatically, but trips over a loose floor tile and almost falls. Before he can recover, Bruce Wayne calmly steps forward, straightening his cufflinks. "You don't want to do this?" Bruce says, voice calm but with a steel edge. Jim spins around, surprised, but Bruce's movements are swift. With the precision of a trained fighter, Bruce disarms Jim, flips him gently but firmly onto the floor, and pins him down. The cashier claps. "Man, you make it look easy. What's your workout, brooding?" Bruce straightens up, pulls out some cash, and hands the cashier an extra 20. "For the trouble," Bruce says quietly. Adam grins, "Thanks, man. I needed a new snack budget anyway." Bruce grabs a bottle of water, nods politely, and exits the store. Cut to Bruce standing at the archaeological dig site where the relics rest. He looks at the Aquaman's trident and Wonder Woman's sword lying under glass. He sighs, a little tired but satisfied. "Well," he mutters, "sometimes even billionaires have to fight for snacks." Cast: Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale, Thief, Jim Carrey, Cashier, Adam Sandler. End scene.
Anyways, bye for now. The next video will have our first ever Batman story. So, yeah.